Welcome to day 566 of our Web3 journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein, here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by NFT Tech. They are an investor in DeSoFi, and DeSoFi is a Web3 mobile app built on the DeSo blockchain. So Brian, what's the latest with inflation and how it's affecting the crypto space?
Yeah, so this morning we saw Bitcoin and most other cryptos dropped pretty significantly, like 5 or 6%, I believe. Uh, this is mostly caused, we saw it a little bit before the inflation numbers came out, but it's mostly caused by inflation numbers in the US. And at 8:30 this morning, Eastern time, CPI was reported, and inflation increased by 0.4% in September, which would be an annualized rate of 4.8%. So the overall rate of inflation is easing, but it's still increasing. We're still seeing inflation, and this number was higher than the 0.3% that markets had expected. So naturally, when inflation is higher than expected, stocks drop, and recently, crypto does the same thing, and that's dropped. So that's really the main reason here. Markets now expect the Fed could actually institute a 0.75 percentage point rate hike in November and then again in December, which would be another 1.5%. So rates are really rising. And when rates go up, stocks and crypto go down. That's what we're seeing. People buy bonds and treasuries rather than crypto and stocks, apparently. And for good reason, because you can get a better guaranteed or almost guaranteed return in the bond market or the treasury market, at least. So that's where we're at there. We'll see what happens next month.
Yeah, I think we're really at an inflection point when you look at the technicals on Bitcoin. If you check out the weekly chart, you'll notice that there's been this downtrend basically since we've reached that high of 69,000 or so back in, what was it, November of 2021. We've had this consistent downtrend, and we're at an inflection point where we're either going to hold the support level, which is basically where we're at right now, like 18,000 or so, or we're going to break out above that downtrend. So we're either going to fall below the support level or we're going to break out above the downtrend. We have a pattern that looks like this, and we're like right here. So we're either going to go break through that downtrend or we're going to fall through the floor. And this should happen probably within the next, I'm guessing, 2 weeks or so. I think within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to know which line we break. Do we break support or do we break the downtrend? And
Yeah.
that could mean big things. That could mean Bitcoin might separate itself from the stock market. We've seen it, kind of tied to the stock market as of late, or it could mean it continues to go down with the stock market, or who knows? We don't know for sure, but it's going to be interesting to follow.
Yeah. So big news on the DeSo blockchain. DeSoDollar. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so we talked a lot about DeSoDollar in the past. DeSoDollar is a stable coin created on the DeSo blockchain by what some people would say is the father of stablecoins, Nader al-Naji. Of course, Nader is the creator of the DeSo blockchain. He also created Basis way back in the day. DeSoDollar officially has launched, and DAO is going to be the first app to actually use DeSoDollar. But DeSoDollar is a stablecoin tied to USDC and US Treasuries. But they announced that on Twitter and on DeSo, they made a post saying, to celebrate, we have a very special surprise for you all tomorrow. This was yesterday, so tomorrow is today. They said, here's a hint, airdrop incoming. So I'm
I'm
not
waiting
sure.
to catch some DeSo dollars from the sky. I'm waiting.
It's going to be interesting to see how this airdrop works. We don't know. I don't think anybody other than the core team knows how the airdrop will work. We can speculate. There's some ideas, maybe, people who have been active on DeSo, you're going to get an airdrop based on your activity. But I think it's going to be more in line with a promotional airdrop. And this is just my guess. I don't know. I'm guessing this because Ash DeSo, one of the core team members, made a post on Discord yesterday saying, hey, everyone, we've completed another successful launch from our roadmap, DeSoDollar. Keep an eye on our Twitter tomorrow for a surprise. So why on Twitter? Why not on DeSo? My guess is that they're going to use Twitter to promote DeSoDollar, to promote DeSo, get people to sign up, and maybe airdrop DeSoDollar to people who take an action on DeSo, whether you're coming from Twitter or whether you're already on DeSo. I don't know. That's just my guess.
Yeah, I think it makes sense from a promotional standpoint. If you're giving decent dollars to just the people who are already here, you're not going to get anybody from outside. Although I do think that people that have stuck here probably deserve something. It might be difficult to really the logistics of that could be quite difficult. So I wouldn't blame them for going the route that of Twitter and bringing people on to DeSo from outside of DeSo.
Yeah, I mean, I do think people who have been active on DeSo for a long time, especially, deserve something. I don't know if they're going to be able to, work out some kind of algorithm that would automatically airdrop to people with a certain amount of activity. I don't know. Like you said, I wouldn't blame them if they couldn't manage to do something like that. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible, but you're gonna run into some problems with people being like, why did Krasenstein get 3D so dollar and I only got 0.35, or I've been here longer than them. There's gonna be arguments about that. So I don't know if that's an area they want to go, but I'm excited. I want to see what it is.
Yeah, and I'm just excited about DeSoDollar in general. I think it opens a lot of doors. It makes things a lot easier for people, especially on DAO. But I think just bringing other chains onto DeSo, it just simplifies things. And having a stable coin, of course, also is going to bring name recognition to the DeSo protocol.
Exactly. That's an important part here, I think.
Yeah, so we haven't seen too many new projects being built on DeSo in the last few months, but there is a big one that I want to mention, and that is called Peniso. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Uh, beta, Penisa beta is here, and it's just like a Pinterest, but built on the DeSo protocol. It's on the DeSo blockchain. It aggregates a bunch of images that are posted, and there's different categories. It's just like Pinterest. And I think they still need to implement several features to really make it a Pinterest clone, or I guess a competitor to Pinterest. But it's a good start, and I really like the layout, the way it looks. I think it appeals to people that are familiar with Pinterest, and that's like a whole other demographic than the crypto crowd. I think I know crypto is very male oriented, and Pinterest leans more towards females, and that's a good thing because we need more females on the protocol, and hopefully this can do it.
Do we know who's behind Peniso?
uh I know that Goldberry had sent me something, and it actually showed who was behind it. Let me actually just check this really fast. I'm going to go into my DMs with our intern Goldberry here, and she sent me it's Mr. Preet on Twitter, who is a DeSo OG, I believe. And it appears that he is behind it. So just something to note. And thanks, Goldberry, once again for your
I
internship.
I actually saw a post, I think it was from Peniso, saying something too brutal about Big Brother. So I was thinking, could they be related, or is he just saying brother, like, brother, like you're my friend or buddy? I don't know. Maybe some clarification from Peniso on who is actually behind Peniso. And you said in the beginning of that segment that we haven't really seen too many more new apps start being developed on DeSo, and that is true to a certain degree. But we have seen previously started apps really start to mature.
Yeah.
We've seen, Story, we've seen Gem Story, we've seen Pearl, we've seen NFTZ. We've seen a lot of these platforms just come and really start to mature, DeSocial world. So definitely not a negative.
Yeah. And I get the sense that we're going to see a lot coming from Pearl soon. But I'm going to not say too much more. I'll let them talk about that when they're ready.
Yeah, so moving on, Gem Story by Brutal, who I just mentioned. Gem Story is an app built on the DeSo blockchain. They have been verified. Finally, Gem Story gets verified on DeSo. Brutal is also verified. Congrats to Gem Story for the verification.
Let's do a celebration. Okay.
And I just want to say congratulations. They also updated the UI. Check it out, gemstory.com. Brutal is brutal, but he's also a good developer.
Yeah, congrats, Brutal. Keep working, keep building. You're an asset to this community. And speaking of assets to the community, Mario Nawfal, he made a post yesterday saying that he just spoke about DeSo at GitTex Dubai. And then he said that he spoke about it in another interview with Real Vision. He also said that he will be talking to one of the biggest names in crypto about DeSo later this month.
Satoshi Nakamoto?
I wonder if Mario knows Satoshi.
Maybe
Now,
Mario is Satoshi.
you never know. I mean, he's a little bit young. I think he'd probably be like 19 or so when Bitcoin came out. But no, Mario is an asset to the community. He has recently bought a bunch of DeSo. I know that he's pushing to make DeSo succeed, and he's using his connections to do that. So Mario's great. If you aren't following him on DeSo, definitely follow him.
I think Mario is going to be on our show, isn't he?
If all goes as planned, he will be tomorrow. We just have to confirm it with him.
And continuing with the Mario Nawfal hype, and I guess thanks going to Mario, the Social World has now released their Arabic translation. So now, if you speak Arabic, if that's your native language, you can now go to the Social World and get the entire site translated in Arabic, so you can read like, how do I make a post here? I don't know what the word post means. Let's see what it means. Let's see the Arabic version so I can actually know what I'm doing on the website. So Arabic, spoken by 360 million people worldwide. Super important. I love what DeSocial World's doing by integrating all these different languages. So no matter where you're from, you can still partake in the DeSo blockchain. And Mario Nawfal is the one who helped with the translations. So thanks, Mario. He's super helpful. He's been super helpful for DeSo all along.
Yeah, and I mean, Arabic represents about 5% of the global population. So seeing this is definitely important. I know that we don't have a ton of people from the Arabic areas, the Arabic nations coming to DeSo. And I think that's just because some of them, I think DeSo is mainly an English blockchain right now. And DeSocial World's doing a lot to allow for the propagation of nodes in other languages and for users to be able to come in and communicate in other languages.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into some NFTs. There's been a lot of NFT activity on DeSo over the past several weeks. The Design Star sisters. We've talked about Wormels in the past. Wormels is an NFT project by a 12-year-old girl in the UK. It's been super successful in the last week or so. Design Star sisters are holding a special Wormels NFT giveaway today. So it's a meme competition. All you have to do is create a meme mentioning Wormels, and in your post, when you post that meme on DeSo, on the DeSo blockchain, tag Design Star and also tag Wormels. And a winner is going to be picked tomorrow. There's already been a super amazing memes created so far. I've seen some from Happy Rabbit, Kitan Iram, Neat, Aniket Rudraska, Dewick Kayo, The Sarcasm, Dalkeys, Brian Bassiona, Natishan, George Jr., Natalia Bell, Nordian, and so many others. I just wanted to mention those. Those are some that stuck out to me, but there's been several others as well. And great competition. I love what Design Star is doing to kind of hype up this NFT project that was already through the roof as far as hype goes, and it's getting the community to engage.
Yeah. And love those wormholes. But speaking of NFTs, Cyberpunk Ape number 10. So this was the one of one. It basically only one of them. They gave out 1,000 of every other one except number 10. And this was won by an account HLY888. And they actually just sold that NFT for a staggering 500 DSO, which at the time was around $8,500. And the winner of that NFT was Tianju. And this is big. I mean, this is amazing news, as it definitely shows that the value of DeSo NFTs is there. And now there's an example of how much these cyberpunk apes can get. So congrats to It's Aditya, Nathan Wells, of course, behind this project. And I think it shows that by them giving away 1,000 of each of these NFTs, those there's a lot of people that know about the cyberpunk apes now. So when they do mint one that is just a one of one, that value is increased because it's one of one out of, now there's over 10,000 of these things out there. So great job, it's Nathan Wells. And don't forget, Cyberpunk Apes number 011 is now available. All you have to do is go to the post, which we'll link to below this video, and or above this video, and DeSo below it on YouTube, and just claim it. Just type claim in the reply and you will get one of these as long as they're available.
Yeah, I believe the link goes to the NFT that sold, or the post talking about the number 10 that sold, but just click on the
Okay.
username Cyberpunk Ape, then you'll see their latest posts and latest NFTs, and you can click claim on that. But moving on, I want to talk a lot about Unicat as well. Unicat's been one of those OG DeSo NFT projects that I know Metaphilosopher got people into it again. It was Metaphilosopher kind of helped reborn the Unicat collection by Misha CG. But they've been super successful. And just this morning, Unicat set up a timed auction on NFTZ. It was the very first Unicat timed auction. It only lasted an hour. So I was wondering, okay, it's only going to be an hour. Are they really going to get bids in an hour? It ended up getting 11 different people bidding and getting in on this bidding war. It had a final top bid of 4.76 DeSo by My Key Stu, but a lot of people got in on the action of this. And that's why I think these timed auctions that NFTZ just released a couple weeks ago are going to be super important to kind of get that excitement back into the NFT space yet
Yeah,
again.
and you know, it was surprising that I got that many people involved. It was, I think the auction started at like 7 a.m. this morning Eastern time. So people were still in bed and they were still here bidding, and there was a lot of action. So I love that Unicat tried this out, and I think it can act as a template for some other successful projects to just try and build some excitement around specific items in their collections.
They were in bed until they heard a Unicat's up for auction.
Right.
But I just want to hit back at Cyberpunk Ape one more time and say how great of a job they're doing bringing people onto from Twitter and from other platforms onto DeSo. And at NFTZ, we really love this idea so much that we're actually going to work on a project with Nathan Wells and It's a D to set something up ourselves. We think it's going to be a really cool project. Has some similarities to what they're doing, but is also going to help highlight some of the big NFT projects. But more on that later. We're still in talks about that. So, as many of you know, NFTZ.me is the only place where you can post and view live timed DeSo auctions. So every day I like highlighting some of the auctions that are ending in the next 24 hours for NFTs. Non-Fungible World has a non-fungible cactus that ends at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Swaps number 24 ends at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Wormos, the very first Wormos, 0001, which is currently owned by IRM. This one ends at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want
That's
to
going
get
to be
that
an
Wormo,
interesting one. I'm looking forward to seeing what that gets.
yeah, 5 p.m. Just go to nftz.me/auctions and you can see all of these that are ending soon. There's a Volpe number 9 by DFOC that ends at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Diego Robot created an NFT that's currently owned by Roland Saidov, and that ends at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. A Little Squids number 15 NFT ends at 11:30 p.m. tonight Eastern Time. Arts2Z created a DeSo Unicorn number 1 NFT that ends at 3:15 a.m. Eastern Time. And there's two NFTs from the Cloutbirds that are going to end at 8:30 tomorrow morning Eastern Time. So definitely check those out. If you haven't started a live auction, timed auction yet, try it out. Check it out. I think you'll like it. If you haven't taken part in the bidding wars that take place on nftz.me for these live auctions, they're super fun and exciting.
Yeah, and we're trying to bring more eyeballs to the live auction. So over the course of the next few days, I think you'll see some things that we do that will hopefully bring some attention to some of these NFTs that are ending soon in timed auctions, so that people can get more excitement over them.
Also, keep an
But
eye out on NFTZ's DeSo account, because we're going to release an explainer video that kind of walks you through the new UI and explains the timed auctions, how you set a timed auction, how you use the new social aspects of NFTZ. today, probably a little bit after this video is released. NFTZ is going to release a video, and that video has a super awesome narrator. No one else but me.
So moving on, the top 10 NFT bidders on the DeSo blockchain over the last 24 hours, according to NFTZ. These people bid on the most NFTs on DeSo. Number one was Tianju, who actually sold that NFT, or actually bought that NFT from the Cyberpunk apes for 500 DeSo yesterday. Followed by Ambitious Lynch, Nigels, George Jr., Sista Fund, That 70s Robot, Randier, Dragonstone, ZN Mead, and Meta Philosopher.
Yeah, that
And the top,
Tianju account, the Tianju account, they bid 8,500 on one NFT, but they're also bidding a bunch on other NFTs. So
yeah.
that's interesting.
So the top diamonded creators over the last 24 hours, according to our friends at Altonbase, these people received the most diamonds or tips on their posts and replies on the DeSo blockchain in the last day. They are as follows: Yate P, Dead Metal, Millisex, Trusa09, Denning Ugraha 09, Elgin, NFT Messiah, Diego Robot, Gigaj K, and Divine D1V1N3. And we weren't up there, which is good news because it means that other people are earning more diamonds than we are, which means that I would say that DeSo is flourishing.
Yeah, it's getting to that point. And today's events, thanks once again to Miss Katie Ann for providing this list, at 10 a.m. Eastern Time is a remote meetup with one Dolinsky on VibeHut. If you haven't checked out VibeHut, definitely a great video app to take part in these discussions. Check that out. At 11 a.m. Eastern Time is a roundtable Web3 trends for the next bull cycle with Mario Nawfal on Twitter Spaces. Mario's Twitter Spaces are awesome. They're like the most active Twitter Spaces on all of Twitter, so definitely check that out. 12 p.m. Eastern Time is Goaltober virtual goal setting series for the Mondiful Entrepreneur by Ayana McMullen on Entra. So check that out. At 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Entra is Community Hangout with Sean Tron and Michael Mara, the CEO of Entra. 3 p.m. Eastern Time is Authorpreneur 101 with Roger Osorio, author The Journey to Reinvention with Ethan Turner on Twitter Spaces. At 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time is English lessons for Tech and Business by Rocco Villarulo on Entra. Sorry about these names. 8 p.m. Eastern Time is DeSo Happy Hour hosted by Beer Buds. Brian Drever is going to be there. Blockchain Padawan and F3, Jody Bossert, Just Nick, and that's on Clubhouse. And I just want to quickly welcome back some people who have left DeSo for over 30 days who have come back to take part in the blockchain yet again. Arta Kruno, Everything Store, which is run by Anna Ragkona, who's also back. Emily Lazar, I remember Emily before DeSo in the Clubhouse rooms on NFTs. Great woman. She's back. The Trillionaire Life, this is a big Instagram account. They're back. Mark Jeffrey, Free Market Capitalist, and there's plenty of others. People are flocking back to DeSo, it seems. So that's all of the news we have for today. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Keep an eye out for that airdrop. See what it is, I don't know, but it's going to be exciting. Look up.